Beats here from Popternative, speaking to director, actor, writer, producer Houde from Vesperia Films. Some films that he's working on right now, including a vampire film, Vance, which is doing the film festival circuits. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks so much for being here.
Dude, thank you. This is wild.
I know. I mean, we wanted to do this for a while and everything, and
True.
we're finally doing this right now. And in terms of like filmmaking and interest, I know you've been doing this for quite some time right now, but it obviously started as kind of acting at a young age, and I guess it kind of just sparked other kind of interest going behind the counter, making your own things. Is it safe to say that all kind of started as a young age for you?
Yeah, I was making videos like when I was like 11 years old. I got like the bug. Maybe I was like 10. I started seeing YouTube videos and like got my hands on a VCam Now, which is a $20 camera from Walmart, and started making stuff. And then it just kind of sparked my love of editing and like creative production stuff. And I always was doing music, so that kind of had a big inspiration on what I was creating. I was doing like lip sync videos, and then that turned into me wanting to do like films and acting. So yeah.
And I feel like it's one of those things too, where when you kind of start working, like, you started like one of your first projects was, you put Bowie on YTV Some Assembly Required, and, that got syndication on Netflix and everything. And that was kind of a show that had a lot of quirkiness and a lot of goofiness and everything. And it was comedy. Was that kind of also one of those things that like drew you towards comedy specifically? Because you are a comedy guy as well. Like you do enjoy comedy.
I love comedy, and I'm a weirdo.
But
Like, I think I'm just a weird, quirky kid in general. Like, and I've always been like a performer. Like, I'm always trying to make people laugh, and I'm always like a very happy person. So I always grew up watching a lot of comedies because they made me laugh as well. And like that was like what I wanted to do. When I started acting, I was like, that's what I want to do as an actor. Like, I was watching sitcoms and like comedy movies and shows, and I was like, that's my thing. Like, I want to do that. And I ended up being able to do it with Bowie. So that was kind of amazing. And that character was like me in a lot of ways. Like, people were like, oh, Harrison, you're so Bowie. Like, even off camera, I was just like in character a lot of the times. Because once I get into that, like, it's like a drug. I don't know. Once I get into that like mode of like, I'm Bowie, it's just like, I'm in character. And it's like really fun to play with like somebody, like be somebody like that. When I say play somebody like that.
And you wrapped this like project like quite a while ago, but it still kind of lives on with like the memes, the TikToks, the GIFs. Like, you'll probably never get tired of that, right?
No, I love Bowie. Like, I love the memes, and like I love when people are like Bowie, and I'm like, yeah. It's like, I don't know, it's a lovely character, so I can't be mad about it. And like, what else? I feel like I'm very lucky in the sense that I've gotten to play, and I still get to play like really interesting, funny characters that like kind of iconic in a way. Like, I feel like Bowie is iconic in a lot of ways, and so is like getting to play the Cheese Touch Kid. Like, that was my first role, and like people still talk about it. Like, people still message, oh, you're the Cheese Touch Kid. Like, what?
To
like,
me, you're the kid that gets kidnapped in summer of '84. That's who you're always going to be for me.
People mention that movie all the time. Again, it's like,
I love that movie.
Yeah, people love it.
And
it's
Harrison,
like,
it's spooky season, so I'm going to go watch that movie. I'm probably going to go watch this movie after this interview.
Hey, secret, like kind of secret, I begged to like be in that movie.
Interesting. Was it kind of one of those things where it's like similar circles? You knew some of the people working on it?
Not really. I was auditioning. I was auditioning for one of like the lead roles, and they were like, "Oh, we like Harrison, but like he's not right for it." And I was like, "No, I am." Like, I was like, "I really want to be in this movie." And like, I think I was just telling my agent, and then I was like, casting. Like, I just tell them like, I don't care. Like, I just really want to be a part of it. So
they just showed up on set one day. You're like, hey guys.
I don't know what happened or what was said, but I just remember asking like 3-4 times. And then eventually they're like, hey, they have something for you. And I was like, sick.
Does the mindset change whether you're acting, writing, or producing one of your projects, or is it all storytelling for you?
I used to say storytelling, but I feel like that's not like totally the truth of like why I like filmmaking sometimes. I mean, of course it's a story, but for me it's like I just love making stuff that looks cool.
Yeah.
I realize, and like that's exciting to me. I'm like, I want to see this. So when I'm producing something or like creating something as a director, writer, producer, it's like I want to make something that I haven't seen before, or like something really weird that I'm like, I would love to watch this. Whereas like acting is like an opportunity and I get to play a character, somebody else is doing like a lot of the work for me, but then I get to like make that come alive for them, and like I get to play. I feel like acting is such a playground. So it's like acting for me is like kind of an easy job in some ways, in my opinion, than like other things, but I really enjoy it. Like it's so fun to be an actor and just like get that opportunity. I feel like it's a real like anytime you get to act is like winning the lottery in some ways.
100%. Something kind of general that can obviously tie into a lot of your projects, Harrison, is I find it very interesting that, like, you know, one of my favorite things about content these days is like I have access to like TV shows and movies like from all around the world because of like Netflix and like certain streaming, right? Like I'm watching so many different content. I'm discovering so many bands from all around the world. Like I love that and everything. You were recently in Italy, you've been to Japan and everything. You have a lot of kind of you have a lot of friends that are kind of content creators and, you know, filmmakers from countries from all around the world as well. Yeah. Is that kind of one of your favorite things you're realizing too, like about the, you know, entertainment industry, how global it's becoming? Like that's a pretty special thing as well.
I heard, 100%. I heard this like, I don't know when I heard this, like I feel like 5-8 years ago, someone was like, write for where you want to travel to. And I was like, oh, that's genius. Like,
wow, that is pretty cool. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And I just love like exploring different cultures in different countries, and I'm very much into Japan and like I want to live there. I like speak Japanese, so it's been like, you know, when you're putting that much effort into learning a language and like learning about a culture, I feel like just spending time there is like such a gift and like super fun to experience. So I want to make movies there. Like it's one of my dreams right now is like go to Japan, make a movie. Like that's my purpose, I feel like, for learning Japanese and like why my life is like led in this direction. I'm like, okay, I need to just like make something there. Like I need to create a movie there. I need to tell a story there. And like, so I'm working on that always.
And I was telling you, like, I love music from all around the world, but specifically I love, you know, a lot of Japanese metal music. And I remember like we were talking about this. You were like, I know this band and this band, and I hung out with this guy.
I don't know why,
like,
dude, but all
these bands.
Half of my friends in Japan are just like musicians for some reason. I don't know why. Like it just happened that way. I just like ended up meeting a lot of friends in Japan like that were in punk bands or like visual K or like rock bands there, and I'm like, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit here. Let's get into business right now. Your short film, Vance, that you star with, it's a Vesperia Pictures film directed by Dakota Daulby as well, has been selected for the Vancouver Horror Show, which is really awesome. So, I mean, congratulations. It's, you know, getting a movie in a film festival is pretty amazing. This is a cool short. Like I had a great time with this. It's an exciting kind of cool take on like vampires and everything. There's actually an exclusive clip from the film on the Pop.
Watch the exclusive clip on Popternative TV right now.
Absolutely. But it's like, what can you tell me about the early stages of Vance? Like the first kind of conversations with Dakota about this one?
Wow. Well,
like, was it always vampires? Like, was it just like we want to make a vampire thing?
I don't know when it became.
Is it a spoiler that it's vampires? Not really. Like, we know it's a vampire.
No. I don't remember when it. No, because the beginning is him buying a steak online. So, and he's very clearly a vampire. But I don't remember when it became about vampires. Dakota would have to answer that because I forgot. But it's like a very meaningful script. I've been a part of the process like since the very, very beginning because like I remember Dakota calling me being like, dude, like I think I have cancer. Like I'm gonna go to the hospital. And I'm like, what? Like, and that was when we were about to start a job together and like move in together as roommates. And like, yeah, it was kind of crazy. So that was a very strange time. It happened very fast. And then afterwards, he kind of came up to me and he's like, dude, I'm writing something about that experience. Like, because he realized he didn't really want to talk about it like on social media as much as he thought he did at the beginning. Because he was like, I just don't want this to like be a defining factor of my life. He went through a lot of different emotions. So he ended up writing this and then he brought a draft to me and then we worked on it quite a bit together. And I think it was really important because it's personal to Dakota.
Yeah.
And then he asked me to play Vance, and I was like kind of surprised. I did not imagine myself in that role when I was reading it ever. Like I just never thought about it. And he's like, I want you to play Vance.
But was there kind of a, like, were you going to be part of the project, like regardless at that point, or like what?
I was gonna I was for sure gonna produce with him. I was very surprised when he was like, "Oh, you should play Vance." And I was like, "Oh, what? Like really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "I want you to play Vance." And I was like, "Wow." I was like, "Okay," because it's a very like personal project for him too. So I was like, "That's very cool." Like for him to like think of me in that role.
Oh, absolutely.
He's like, he's like, "It's different for you. It's like it's a very different thing from what you've played before, and like I think you'd be good for it, and it's going to be a really beautiful film." And I was like,
and I'm really happy for you and Dakota and the whole team, and Dakota specifically, because that it is a project that, you know, he holds very close to his heart, and it's starting kind of the film festival runs right now, and, you know, gets in the Vancouver Horror Show, and I know it wants to do kind of a cool run, so that's really cool. I just love the, you know, color palette of this movie. Like I've talked to you and Dakota about this, you know, before. Like I just love all the colors of this movie. Like I just love it. Like a Vesperia picture, they do the colors. Vesperia Films, you guys do the colors properly.
We do the colors, man. We do the colors.
I mean, that's just a shout out to the amazing crews you get to work with, right?
Yeah, for sure. We get to work with so many cool people, and we push for that, like always in our films. We're always pushing for that, like aesthetic. Like, yeah, we just think it's more entertaining and exciting. Like I said, it's like what excites us is like what excites us. So it's like if we want to, if we think the project is going to benefit from this cool aesthetic, then we do it. Like,
100%. So, and to plug quickly before we wrap up, I mean, the screening is coming up pretty soon, right?
We got a screening on, oh my gosh, I'm going to mess up the dates right now. I need to look. October 15th at the Scotiabank Theater in Vancouver, downtown Vancouver, part of the Vancouver Horror Show Festival.
Yeah.
And then the American Cinepacks screening is the following weekend. It's a Friday night, the 20th, at Culver City Theaters in Culver City, at the Culver Theater, obviously. And that's a part of the Proof Film Festival by the American Cinepacks. They're very cool. So those are your two opportunities to come watch the film on the big screen in Vancouver and in Los Angeles.
And the trailer's around. And again, they have an exclusive clip on Pop TV that they can
trailers
check
out.
Yeah, there's all that stuff. Harrison, so great chatting with you. Thanks so much for coming on Pop Alternative.
We're going to have so much to talk about in the future.
Absolutely.
We can't spoil it yet, right? We're under strict NDAs.
Yes, I don't even know what you're talking about at this point.
We can't talk. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about either.
I don't even know. All I know is that people can kind of follow you at Harrison Houde for Instagram to keep update with everything, and Vesperia Films as well, right?
Yeah. At Harrison Houde, at Vesperia Films, and you'll find us. You'll find our work, and there's a lot in the works. There's a lot in the works, guys.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Be sure to check out those screenings of Vance. Harrison Houde plays Vance, a vampire, in this awesome short. Until next time, it's Harrison Houde and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.